the season facing Soriano. Soriano has 7 home runs this season. And tried to check and apparently did on the first pitch for ball 1 to Soriano, a .270 hitter with 7 homers, 14 runs batted in. He's second in the league in runs scored with 25. He went 1 for 5 last night. Fouls that one away. It's 1 ball, 1 strike for Russ Ortiz, who is 2-0 this season.
Astros got ambushed first inning last night. They need Big Russ to step up here. He's worked 6 times this year, 3 times as a starting pitcher. 2-0 with a 5.21 ERA. Too many walks.
He's behind 2-1 to Soriano, who's walked 11 times this year.
But the club has won all 3 of his starts. He's shown the ability to pitch around some traffic.
Hit to center field. Jason Michaels is backing on it. 1 out to the big part of the ballpark for Russ Ortiz.
Now let's take a look at the Astros defensively this evening. And Jason Michaels, you just saw, gets to start in center field. 4th time he's been out there this year. Pence and Lee in the corners. Keppinger gets a start at third with the lefty Lilly on the mound. Tejada, Matsui, and Berkman. And Pudge, who leads the league in games caught, back there again tonight for Big Russ.
Ryan Theriot follows. Theriot looks at a high heater. Ball 1 to a .305 hitter with 3 homers, 15 runs batted in. He wore a size 5 collar last night. But the Cubs won the game 6-3. It's 2-0 with Fukudome on deck. The Cubs are 15-12. When the day began, they were 2.5 behind St. Louis. St. Louis won earlier 5-2 over Pittsburgh in St. Louis. Ortiz chews off the corner there for Adrian Johnson to bring the count to 2-1. In Russ's career, he is 3-4 against Chicago with a 5.46 ERA. Breaking pitch is down for ball 3. Ortiz is 6-0 in his career here at Minute Maid Park. That's the most wins for any pitcher who is undefeated in the history of this ballpark. Theriot takes a 1-out walk. And you mentioned the walks. 17 and 19 innings coming into this start for Russ Ortiz. And now he deals with a base stealer in Theriot, who has stolen 6 of 8 this season.
Yeah, and that's not anything really new for Russ. Even in his best years, he was walking a lot of people. 125 walks in 1999 for the Giants in 208 innings, but he went 18-9 that year with a 3.81 ERA.
Double play depth for Tejada and Matsui for Fukudome. He did not start last night. A strike 1 to Kosuke, a .300 hitter with 4 homers, 15 runs batted in.
Kosuke, usually a very patient hitter. That time he was cheating on a first pitch fastball, took a hellacious rip at it, and Russ threw him a dandy of a changeup.
At on base average, .436 is 8th best in the league. Fukudome got off to a nice start last season, but really struggled in the second half, kind of fell out of favor and lost some playing time. But now he's sharing time in center field with the most interesting man in the world, Reed Johnson. Inside, and it's 2 balls and a strike.
Somebody's probably sitting in the Cubs clubhouse and listening to the game going, what are they talking about?
Well, Reed Johnson, we were talking about his beard last night. He had quite a game. 3-run triple in the first inning. Scored a couple of runs. He's got that hockey beard. We started thinking, well, he looks like the guy in the commercial for a beer, and they call him the most interesting man in the world.
It just needs to tighten it up a little bit. Got to get rid of some of that down there, and then you'd really have it going on.
A strike call makes it 2-2. By the way, you mentioned watching in the clubhouse. Congratulations to Steve Perry. manages the visiting clubhouse here at Minute Maid Park. He received a plaque last night honoring him as the best visiting clubhouse manager in Major League Baseball.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I was not aware of that.
I wasn't either.
Did that happen like in a pregame ceremony?
Yes, it did, and we missed it.
Oh, man. Way to go, Steve-O.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Ramos Ramirez on deck. And now Terrio might be setting sail.
That's because he learned under the great Dennis Laborio.
Right. Well trained. Carl Schneider is very well trained. Runner going on 3-2. Bouncer into right field. And Terrio continues on to third base on a single by Fukudome. First and third, one out for Ramos Ramirez now.
And one of the Astros' problems this year is they've been playing from behind quite a bit. And it was a 4 spot the Cubs dropped on Hampy last night in the top of the first, threatening to get it rolling against Russ here. It's a good swing of the bat there by Fukudome. Looks like he went back to the changeup that he fooled him with for that first pitch.
Now Ramos Ramirez, he ripped a long ball last night. He also had a single and a walk, going 2 for 4 in that game. 29 long balls for him against the Astros. And there's strike 1 to Ramirez, who chased the breaking pitch off the plate. 344 for Aramis, 4 homers, 15 runs batted in. Only Albert Pujols has hit more home runs among visiting players here at Minute Maid Park than Ramirez. Throw to third base, and they got him. A pickoff by Pudge Rodriguez to Jeff Keppinger, and Terrio is going after the third base umpire, Wally Bell. Third base coach Mike Quade trying to keep him away from Wally Bell.
Boy, talk about bailing out a pitcher who's in a tight spot. Pudge calls for the inside fastball. Keppinger comes in behind Terrio, and Pudge throws a BB down there. And Terrio pulling the right arm back. Feels like he got the left hand of the bag before the tag was applied.
Ooh. He was irate on that Wally Bell call for out number 2 from 2 to 5. That is a big lift for Russ Ortiz. Fly ball would have scored a run. Ground ball, a lot of things. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Cubs 2 balls and a strike. The Cubs scored 2 runs on pass balls last night.
Pudge just took that option away. Just in case one spurts by, I don't want anybody down there at third. I'm going to pick him off.
He was off balance and popped it up. Pudge back. We will not have a play on this one. It's back into the folks behind home plate. That diamond level seating area. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. By the way, Pudge had not had 2 pass balls in a game since 2003 until last night. It was the first time in his career that he had 2 pass balls in one game, both resulting in a run. But tonight he turns the page. This is the 22nd 100th game he's caught in his career. He's 3rd on the all-time list, moving up quickly.
And that pickoff at third, there had to have been some communication between Pudge and Keppinger prior to the pitch. We'll get another look at it here. Terrio rolls, trying to roll away from the tag, and the question was, did he get the bag before the tag was applied, if it ever was applied.
21st pitch of the inning coming. It's foul back. That's the 9th strike now, and 21 pitches for Russ Ortiz.
Now the Astros desperate for a starter to go deep and relieve that bullpen a little bit. But Russ probably not a good candidate because he just throws a lot of pitches. His style of pitching typically doesn't get early outs. A lot of deep counts, a lot of foul balls.
Last outing Sunday in Atlanta, he pitched 1/3 of an inning in relief. Runner going, and it's ball 4. Second walk of the inning brings up Micah Hoffpower with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Ramirez was worked cautiously. Now Hoffpauir filling in for Derek Lee, who continues to have some neck stiffness. Missed last night's game. Hoffpauir 295, 2 homers, 8 runs batted in. Derek had missed a few games about a week ago and then had returned to the lineup. So that injury has returned for him. Hoffpauir is capable. Hoffpauir fouls it back.
And Derek Lee really struggling so far this year, so if he's hurting, it makes sense to give him a couple days off to get back, get 100%, give him a chance to get his season turned around. And then if Lou was thinking about putting him in there tonight, when he looked at his career versus Russ Ortiz, that may have given him pause. Derek just 3 out of 32. It's an 0.94 batting average. Derek Lee versus Russ Ortiz.
It's 1-1 to the native of Fort Worth. Played for Jim Gilligan at Lamar University. Micah hit 342 and 73 at bats last year with the Cubs. Having to play the outfield. He started 7 games in the outfield. This is his 5th start at first base this year for Chicago. Lines that one out into right center field. Charged by Hunter Pence. Here's the play at the plate. On the throw to Pudge Rodriguez. The throw up the line, and the Cubs score to make it 1-0. Fukudome comes home on the RBI single by Hoffpauir, giving him his 9th run batted in.
Good thing Pudge was able to pick Terrio off. A couple of walks, a couple of knocks, and the Cubs are on the board, taking that first inning lead again. Hunter comes up firing, but it's up the line. It would have had to take a perfect throw, and even with that, I'm not so sure they would have had a shot at him. Fukudome runs well.
Now runners at first and second, and it's Milton Bradley. Bradley had his appeal heard on the suspension, and we haven't heard anything yet on that. But he thought it was appropriate to have that suspension reduced from 2 games to 1, or he said perhaps even no games. Fouls it back on a breaking pitch, an aggressive swing, strike 1. Bradley, a slow starter this year, went 1 for 4, 1 for 5 last night. The Astros have been outscored this year 23-10 in the first inning of their games. Their record is 4-11 when the opponent scores first. Bounce foul, 0-1. But if they're only behind 1-0 at home, then that is not such a big deal. No balls, 2 strikes.
The cliche in the dugout is, well, it takes 1 to win anyway. So you give up a 1 spot in the first, not such a big deal. It's that crooked number that gets you a little nervous.
Right. Mike Fontenot on deck.
Get it in there.
Bradley strikes out. In the first, Chicago scores a run on 2 hits, stranding 2. It's 1-0 Cubs. brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Kazuo Matsui, second base. Miguel Tejada, shortstop, batting second tonight. Lance Berkman, first base. Carlos Lee, left field. Hunter Pence, right field. Jason Michaels, center field. Bud Rodriguez, catcher. And Jeff Keppinger, third base. And Russ Ortiz, pitcher. Kazuo Matsui gets it started for Houston. With the third baseman Ramirez in tight. First baseman also creeping in, off power. Lilly deals ball one up. Matsui on a 5-game hitting streak, checks in at 274. He has one homer, 11 runs batted in. He's a right-handed batter. He's hitting .333. Lilly changes speeds on him, and the count runs to 2-0. Ted Lilly's 3-2. His ERA is 3.13.
Yeah, and note that batting average, just a .216 batting average against him. He's only walked 6 men this year. Go with 26 strikeouts, so a tremendous ratio there. Well, he's looking at a free pass here if he doesn't reset those sights.
Matsui 8 for 21 in the last 5 games. And he will take that base on ball. Only the 7th in 32 innings for Lilly.
Here are the Cubs defensively tonight. Soriano in left, Fukudomi and Bradley center and right. Aramis Ramirez at third. Ryan Theriot, Mike Fontenot. Micah Hoffpauir is the first baseman. Giovanni Soto does the catching for 10-year veteran Ted Lilly.
Miguel Tejada comes to the plate. Batting in the number 2 spot tonight. This is the 11th time he's hit second this year. 287, no homers, 8 runs batted in. He's hit 5th quite a bit this season. Toss goes over. Matsui is 4 for 7 in steals. Astros just 1 for 3 in base stealing against the Chicago Cubs this year. These are the sliding gloves, pretty well padded. Well, he misses there, and he'll be visited by his battery mate Giovanni Soto after throwing 5 straight balls. Open the game.
And it's not like he's just missing with his fastball. He's tried a couple changeups. He's having a hard time zeroing in. Maybe the 4 home runs he allowed in his last start here fresh in his mind. Probably not. Maybe just can't find the strike zone.
Pitched well last time out against Florida, striking out 10 with no walks in 8 innings, winning at 6-1.
He's been dynamite at Wrigley this year. And his 2 road starts haven't been very good. He won here, but he allowed 5 runs in 5 innings. Had similar numbers in his other road start.
Tejada was 0 for 4 last night, but he's hitting .393 against southpaws this season. Lance Berkman on deck. Cubs pinch in for a double play. That's whacked to left field, and the Astros grab the lead. 2-1, and Miguel Tejada just ended a long home run drought. 173 at bats since his last long ball. That was a career high drought in homers, and now he's on the board with number 1.
Well, the 4 home runs allowed his last time here wasn't on his mind prior to that pitch. They may be now. They're just struggling to find the strike zone. Basically threw a 2-0 BP fastball in there, and that was out of the zone too. That ball would have been ball 3, but Tejada looking fastball turns it loose and yanks it above the Crawford boxes. There we go. It's more like it. A little spotlight.
Livens up the dugout. 2-1 now, and Lance Berkman looks at strike 1. Lance on a 5-game hitting streak. Begins the night at 194. He has 7 homers, 16 runs batted in. He hit his most recent home run last night, batting left-handed, lining it into the Landry's Crawford boxes. He was 1 for 3 with a walk in that game. Lilly has really shackled him to the tune of a 105 batting average, 1 homer and 2 runs batted in. But what a milestone for Lance last night. He passed Mickey Mantle for the highest career slugging percentage of all time among switch hitters who have 3,000 plate appearances or more. Grounded at third, Aramis Ramirez. And 1 out for Ted Lilly. Lilly now has surrendered 7 long balls this season. At home, as JD mentioned, fine. 2-1, a 0.42 ERA. On the road, 1-1 with an ERA of 9 for only 2 road starts.
They talk about the friendly confines. They usually refer to the friendliness of the ballpark for the fans and the hitters, not so much for the pitchers. But Lilly's made himself right at home at Wrigley.
Carlos Lee looks at one, away for ball 1. Lee on a 6-game hitting streak, 10 for his last 23, up to 294, 5 homers. He's driven in 20. Carlos gets underneath that one, lofts a foul pop. Ramirez over, and it's back out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dave Clark has taken over now as the guy who coaches the hitters on an interim basis. Sean Berry will have surgery tomorrow at the Methodist Hospital here in Houston for what is believed to be cancer, a tumor attached to his kidney. That's what they think. Line left field corner. Soriano comes over to try to hold him to a single. He backhands the ball, and it is a well-hit single for Carlos and a 7-game hitting streak. Sean Berry, we understand, is with his family tonight here in Houston, and our thoughts and prayers are with them as he's getting ready for that surgery tomorrow morning.
Well, soon, Sean. Got a call from a friend in the Woodlands today, Brownie.
Yeah.
Who had the same diagnosis, same surgery back in 1986.
Really?
Yeah, very similar story. So he was playing racquetball and woke up the next day in pain and went and saw his doctor. Said, "You got a tumor in your kidney." So removed the kidney and he's doing just fine.
Well, that's great. Ball 1 to Hunter Pence. .310 batting average for Hunter. 4 homers, 11 runs batted in. Hunter had a double and an infield hit last night, going 2 for 4. And we know Sean Berry would love to see these guys really break out tonight. Whoops, he started to go, and then Carlos saw that Lilly was coming over, so he headed back to first base. He's going to give up the sliding gloves to Cheo. Line shot right field. Sean Berry will love that. Carlos Lee is second on the Hunter Pence single, and that's hit number 3 of the inning.
And Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, is going to come out and have a chat with Ted Lilly. A lot of traffic here in the first inning already. Both clubs coming out swinging.
Lilly, the 3rd starter in the Cubs rotation behind Carlos Zambrano, who's on the disabled list right now, and Ryan Dempster. And for Sean, surgery tomorrow for possible cancerous tumor on his kidney. That will be, we understand, about 7:30 in the morning. Sean told the ball club about that condition yesterday in a team meeting. Jason Michaels, the batter. Jason has been starting against some lefties. This is his 4th start of the season. Last one April 22nd against the Dodgers here. Well, it's been a while. Strike 1 for J. Mike, a .286 hitter with no homers and 2 runs batted in. Aaron Boone has stayed over for tonight's game and rejoining the Astros. He'll come back here, and he'll also see them in Arizona. They make 2 trips to Arizona this year, and that's where he's living. Pudge Rodriguez on deck with 2 men on for Jason Michaels.
We got to win this one for Sean. We got to win it for Aaron too, so he doesn't leave town thinking, "No, came in, the club went 0-2." Yeah, he got to get him a W.
That's right. He took out the lineup card last night. Thought maybe that karma might work, but the Cubs won it 6-3. Foul back, good cut there, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, unfortunately, good pitching usually wins out over karma.
Yeah.
Not always.
That's a way of defeating karma and good hitting.
Now, Russ Ortiz won a game back in 2000 where he gave up 10 runs.
Really?
So I think karma won that night.
There's a look at the base running situation with Lee at second and Pence at first. 2 runs home. Back to Lilly. And he throws to second for one. Relay by Fontenot for a double play. 1-4-3. But Miguel Tejada makes it 2-1 Houston with home run number 1 in the Wild. 2-1 after 1.
At 2-1. Well, tonight, Texas Chevy dealers introduced the 2010 Camaro to fans outside Minute Maid Park. This performance car comes with an available V6, or for those of you who want a little bit more power, an optional 6.2-liter V8 that generates 426 horsepower. That engine will get you from 0 to 6 in just 4.7 seconds. Go to your local Chevy dealer and check out the new Camaro, Brownie.
Bart Ennis, our automotive correspondent. Thank you, Bart, for that update. Mike Fontenot just took ball 1.
Can Speed Racer drive a Camaro?
So
the Mach 5.
Got me on that one. 1-1 to a 256 hitter with 5 homers and 15 runs batted in. Fontenot really had a nice season last year. He showed some power. Could play the various infield positions. Rolls this one, and Matsui gobbles it up to his left. Throw back behind Berkman, who drops it. Lance had to twist. And Matsui was running toward the right field line. It was kind of an awkward play for both of them for the throw and the catch.
Yeah, and the ball somewhat slowly hit. Lance takes a break to his right, and that's a scramble back to the bag. Doesn't really have a chance to reset his feet to get in better position to make that catch. Final hustling down the line. And Matsui didn't have time to wait for Lance.
We're still waiting for a ruling on that as Soto is the batter. He calls time, steps away.
Yeah, I think that's probably an E3.
159 for Soto. No homers, 4 runs batted in. Yeah, the first baseman has to get to the base, get his footing, and then look up. And I think there wasn't a lot of time for Lance to do all that.
No, it wasn't an easy play, but he'll tell you he probably should have caught it.
We're about to find out.
Now they threw one up there.
It's an error. Second error for Lance this season.
The Astros' infield defense has been very, very good. Matsui's played errorless ball, so has Keppinger.
Line to left field. Soto cracks a single. Fontenot to second base, and now Lilly will have a chance to bunt both runners along.
Giovanni Soto, last year's Rookie of the Year, had a heck of a first year, off to a very sluggish start this year. This time he picks on a slider. Outer third, but up a little bit. And he yanks it in the left for a base hit. And Russ going to have a little chat with Jeff Keppinger, make sure he knows what's going on here as the Astros get set to defend this bunt.
Here's a look at the base running situation. First and second, no out.
Probably just standard bunt defense on here.
Berkman charging, pitch is high.
Tejada will try to keep Fontenot's lead fairly tight at second base. Berkman will come hard. Keppinger will read the bunt. Ortiz's responsibility is to break towards home and cover the third base line with an eye towards nailing that lead runner.
Berkman comes in. It's bunted in the air. Ortiz with a catch. He turns. No play at either base. One out.
Pitch up around the letters, tough to get on top of and get on the ground. You just got to let that one go if you're up there to bunt.
If the pitcher lets the ball drop, is it a double play?
Well, depends on where Lilly is. I mean, you could. There's always risk because you don't know what's going on with the base runners behind you.
Right.
And you're better off just catching the ball. You know, a guy like Hampy or Maddox might pull that play off. But more times than not in baseball, when you try to get cute, you end up throwing the ball down a left field line or something like that. Might as well just make the catch.
Soriano bats now. And grounds to third. Keppinger to second. Matsui to first. Double play. No runs, one hit, one error, and one left. Astros 2, Cubs 1 after 1.5.
The Astros and Padres kick off a three-game series at 7:05. Get to the game early as the first 15,000 women 16 and older will receive Pink in the Park bracelet, courtesy of the Methodist Hospital. Be sure to check out the Women's Health and Wellness Expo presented by the Methodist Hospital, featuring information tables and a guest speaker. For tickets to those festivities, go to Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. Brownie.
Thank you, Bart. Here's Pudge Rodriguez taking strike one, leading off the home second inning with a .247 average, 3 homers and 11 runs batted in. Pudge was 0 for 4 in last night's game. Big looping curveball comes in for a strike.
0 for 4 with a couple of costly pass balls, so he's already made up a little bit here tonight by picking off Terrio in the first. See if he can get a little redemption with the stick as well.
Has good career numbers against Lilly. Gets another curveball, and it's 0-2. Maybe that's why he's getting curved twice in a row. He is hitting 300, 6 for 20 with 3 homers off Lilly in his career. Pudge leads all National League catchers in games caught. Fouls it away. And really not too far from becoming the all-time leader now in games caught. He only needs 26 more to set the major league record. Carlton Fisk caught one more game than Bob Boone, Aaron's father. In the dirt and a strikeout for Lilly. That's number 1 for him.
Yeah, Lilly, when he's on, does a real nice job of moving the ball up and down.
Coming up later on our Dodge Grab Live feature, Humberto Quintero tells us about his favorite baseball players. Stay tuned. By the way, he had a workout before the game tonight, before batting practice, and did some throwing to second base. He will be probably heading out on a rehab assignment to Round Rock tomorrow. Round Rock is at home the next couple of days. Jeff Keppinger, the batter. There's ball 1. And then if a third game is needed for rehab for Q, he would then go to Corpus Christi for that third game on Monday. Keppinger, 368, has 1 homer, 2 runs batted in. And it's 2-0. He hasn't swung the bat in a while, so it will be nice for him to get some at-bats in the minor leagues before returning to the Astros active roster. Good numbers for Keppinger against the Southpaws. 354 lifetime with 8 bombs. One of those coming off Lilly in the game here. And it's 3-0 now. That was back on April 8th, but Lilly enjoyed very good run support, and he won the game 11-6 despite giving up 5 runs in 5 innings. It's 3-1. Russ Ortiz is on deck. Lilly in his other road start at Arizona gave up 5 runs in 5 innings as well. Brings that one in for a strike, and the count is full on Keppinger. Really helped the Astros with solid play on the infield. Good timely hitting. He hit in his first 8 games with the Houston club. The second player to do that. Broken bat. And the center fielder Fukudome comes in on the run. He spears it. 2 outs. He had to work hard to make the adjustment from right field to center field this year.
And anytime a hitter takes a big swing like that, and there's a tendency to freeze, you see the ball off the bat and you think it's maybe over your head, so you hesitate. And he had a long way to go. Yeah, a very good right fielder. Doesn't have a lot of experience in center.
Russ Ortiz is the batter. There's strike 1 to Russ. He is 1 for 6 with 1 RBI this season. A career .206 hitter with 6 bombs. He's driven in 48. Mike Hampton got his 75th career RBI last night. 0-2 the count. Lilly spins a curveball. Lilly has won 94 major league games. He's lost 77. As a Cub, he's 35-19. Went 17-9 last year, working 204 innings. Joined the Cubs prior to the 07 season on a 4-year deal. Cubs really have a solid starting rotation. That's hurt by the fact that Zambrano is now out with an injury. Lilly's thrown 33 pitches, 21 of them strikes.
Yeah, they've got a solid rotation. Because of that, they don't abuse their bullpen. They get a lot of innings out of their starters. That minimizes the amount they have to use that middle relief. Makes it easy for Lou Piniella if he can take the ball from the starter and give it to Marmol and Gregg.
Doesn't it though? Marmol came in last night, a 1-2-3 inning. And Rich Harden set down 10 in a row over one stretch. Harden went 7. That's what you were talking about. So Lou Piniella got great mileage out of his starter and winning pitcher. Marmol has a long consecutive inning scoreless streak against the Astros. Strike 3 makes it a 1-2-3 second for Lilly and a 2-1 lead for the Astros.
This whole homestand is Pink in the Park, an Astros effort to support breast cancer research. And Jessica, talk a little bit about the theme, the Pink in the Park theme, and the Astros Wives' involvement, and how fans can find out more.
You can find out everything about Pink in the Park on Astros.com. They have a specific link just for Pink in the Park. And the Wives, we're helping them promote it. Everything we do is centered around breast cancer awareness. We're going to help the Susan G. Komen Foundation here in Houston and the Methodist Cancer Center. So we have pink bracelet giveaways tomorrow night. Tonight they gave away a diamond to a lucky fan. They're going to do special pink fireworks on Saturday, I believe. And actually, we got all the players' moms to come into town, and so we're going to celebrate Mother's Day with all the players' moms, too. They're going to be introduced on Sunday before the game starts.
That'll be great. Your big event, though, as I understand it, is Saturday, the Brunch and Bazaar, where fans can come, mingle, meet some of the wives, meet some of the players, and a special guest, James Denton from Desperate Housewives.
Yeah, who doesn't want to meet Mike the Plumber from Desperate Housewives? Over at Union Station, they're doing a special luncheon. There's going to be a bazaar. They're going to have lots of items for shopping, handbags, accessories, clothes, and just kind of a fun event for women to come, meet the players moms, and support breast cancer, where all the proceeds are going to go to breast cancer research.
Jessica, thanks very much. That's great work you guys are doing. As always, Astros Wives always get involved and do some great things. Browning, back to you.
Thank you, Bart and Jessica. James Denton, Saturday at Union Station. That begins at 11 o'clock. There was a looping single by Ryan Theriot leading off the inning, and then Fukudome came up, and he has a 1-1 count. He singled and scored in the first inning. That shopping bazaar opens at 11 a.m. and will remain open till 2:30 p.m. Saturday, and a portion of the proceeds from sales at the bazaar will also benefit breast cancer research. Throw over to first, pretty close as Theriot went back in. And again, if you're just joining us, the whole event is Saturday beginning at 12, but you can get there at 11 for the shopping bazaar and stay around to 2:30 and do your shopping. Proceeds go to Astros in Action, Methodist Cancer Center, and Susan G. Komen Foundation. Co-chairs Elizabeth McLean and Pam Gardner. Now it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Now Theriot, if he's a vengeful guy, will be looking to steal his base off of Pudge. Pudge picked him off last time he was on.
Yes, he will. And Theriot is a base stealer. Stole 22 last year. High, and it's 3-1.
Probably not a vengeful guy, but he's a very competitive guy. So probably looking over there and say, "Hey, Mike Quaddy, turn me loose, man. Let me go."
Dexter Fowler, the Colorado rookie, leads the league with 9 steals. Michael Bourne and Emmanuel Burris are tied with 8. Then it's Matt Kemp with 7 and Theriot with 6.
Carl Crawford's up around 20, isn't he? That's 6 in one game.
Yeah, he's way up there. Runner going, and it's fouled. So on the 3-1, Fukudome poked it foul. And now a full count for Theriot. He might be running again on this one.
Well, yeah, Fukudome has very good strike zone judgment, and you count on him for contact most of the time. So I think the thinking here is let's go ahead and start the runner. And either going to be ball 4 or Fukudome will put it in play to protect the base runner. That's the theory anyway. Doesn't always work that way.
Tejada will cover the bag. He's pretty close to second base. Runner going, and it's ball 4. So now first and second, nobody out for Russ Ortiz. That's the situation that faced him in the last inning. And he got out of it. But now he's facing the cleanup hitter, Aramis Ramirez this time, and Dewey Robinson's headed out.
Well, Russ is one of those guys who you know, we've seen him pitch enough now with other clubs, and now here he doesn't like to give in. And that's the mistake you would make. Now, if you're going to nibble, once you get into the middle of that order, you might as well keep nibbling. You don't want to groove a fastball to Aramis Ramirez here.
Well, there is some scrambling out in the Astros bullpen right now. Looks like Tim Burdack is getting up. So just as Dewey Robinson was going out to talk with Ortiz, we saw some furious movement in that bullpen. Ramos Ramirez, who drew the walk on a 3-2 pitch, is the batter. Hoffpower, left-handed hitter, next, and then switch hitter Bradley, and then another left-handed hitter, Fontenot, here in the third. And there's ball one to Ramirez.
Pretty good pitch there, just off the edge.
Ramirez turns 31 in late June. He's hit more than 250 major league home runs. Turn towards second.
Real nice resume of Ramos Ramirez. You know, not a Hall of Fame guy, but a Hall of really good. That's for sure. When all is said and done, in his career.
Foul ball back. He let the bat fly at that one, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Cecil Cooper was asked before the game any particular restraints on Russ Ortiz. He said no. You see Ramirez's career numbers, close to 900 runs batted in.
Seems like about 600 of them coming against the Astros.
95 to be precise, but seems like 600. Yes, he's had a lot of big ones. And inside, 2-1. Well, the Astros have had 7 straight games now in which the starting pitcher has failed to go 6 innings. And their starters have worked 149 innings coming into this game. Cubs starters 163 by comparison. Bounce foul.
Yeah, well, there's 2 things you can do to remedy that. 1, pitch better. 2, leave your starters in longer. And it's, you know, Cooper would argue, wait a minute, now we're walking people, we're getting up runs, can't really leave them in there. But at some point, you're fearful of burning out that bullpen, and so sometimes you're just going to have to let your starter stay in there and gamble that he's able to give you an extra inning or so just to save the pen.
Ramirez took it. It's 3-2 now.
And that's tough when you're losing. You know, you've gotten off to this rough start in the first month and having a hard time winning in your own ballpark. You can imagine, you know, most managers would want to pull the trigger if somebody's struggling and just get somebody else in there.
Big pitch coming here with 2 on and a 3-2 count on Ramirez. And he cracks it on a line to left field. A hit in front of Carlos Lee. The bases are loaded. Ramirez unloading that single, and now it's Hoffpower coming up.
Burdak's likely ready if Coop wants to make the move here. Ramirez swung at that like he knew what was coming.
He really had a nice aggressive cut at it. Hoffpower had the RBI single to right in the first inning. Ortiz has thrown 50 pitches, 25 strikes. Ortiz, the only Astros starter with a winning record right now. Inside for ball 1. Russ went 5 innings in both of his wins, here against the Dodgers and here against Milwaukee. Threw 116 pitches in 5 against the Dodgers. Popped up. Keppinger over. 1 out. And Milton Bradley follows. Now Pudge will go out and talk it over. Bradley struck out in the first inning.
47 grand slams in baseball this season, including one today by Jack Cust of the Oakland A's. That's a pretty big number.
47? Wow.
That's a little reverse karma we're trying to throw out there.
Here's another reverse karma. Ortiz has thrown 5 first pitch strikes to the 14 batters he's faced. But Bradley had an 0-2 count and struck out. First time up. He's hit 3 grand slams in his career.
And he's a tough guy to face in this situation because he usually doesn't go out of the strike zone. He's a very disciplined hitter.
Bradley's been troubled by some groin issues this year. In tight, that almost hit him. 1-1. Tomorrow night, the Astros start a weekend series with the Padres. There's Ryan Theriot at third base. Kosuke Fukudome at second. Ramos Ramirez at first. The Padres won today in the 10th. They beat Arizona in San Diego 4-3. Clay Meredith, the winner, in relief. Chris Young started that game. Chris Burke started at shortstop today for San Diego, going 1 for 4. It's 2-1 now to Bradley.
Well, Padres will be rolling in here probably 10:30, 11 o'clock this evening. Astros catch a break. They don't get Jake Peavy or Chris Young in that 3-game set over the weekend. All right, one hopper back to the mound. On 2, ready, break.
Foul ball, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ortiz and Mike Hampton, 2 experienced hands, signing as free agents over the winter with the Astros. And now they're back-to-back in the rotation. Hampton pitching last night. The Dodgers are 21-8 and undefeated at home. San Diego, after the win today, now 13-16, 8 games back. The Giants are in second place in the NL West. Dodgers playing later tonight. Line to right field for a hit, charged by Hunter Pence. Theriot scoring, and it's tied 2-2. Bradley drives in his 3rd of the year. He didn't get all of it, but he got it out over the infield.
Tried to get in on him with a fastball. He's got a very quick bat. He was able to drop the head on it. And one thing about Russ, very stoic out there. There's no panic in him. He's been around a long time. He's pitched out of a lot of trouble. But he's not going to get a chance to pitch out any more trouble tonight.
Cecil Cooper's on his way to make the move. Mike Fontenot ready to bat next. Here go lefty Tim Burdack with the bases loaded and 1 out in a 2-2 game here in the 3rd. Ortiz has walked 3. He's allowed 6 hits. Chicago 2, Houston 2. Back in a moment. Bases loaded and one out. He would like to perform some surgery himself. He is our Verizon call to the bullpen. And brought to you by Verizon Wireless. Burdack versus Fontenot here, lefty on lefty.
No pressure, Tim. Bases juiced, one out. Lefties are 6 out of 20 against him so far this year. Had 4 appearances on the road trip. Worked a couple of days ago in Washington through 18 pitches. It's a good start.
Yes, it is. Breaking ball cut across the plate, strike one. Cubs are 3 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Burdack trying to get ground ball would be fine. It's right at somebody. Pop up. Fontenot 0-71 against lefties in just a few at bats. This fly ball carries out to Jason Michaels in center. Here's the catch and the tag. And the throw to the plate is not in time. Fukudome scoring the go-ahead run. 3-2 Cubs on a sac fly by Fontenot. And Giovanni Soto will follow.
Now at this stage of the ball game, you just want out. So if that's all they get out of this inning, that would be a job well done by Tim Burdack.
Burdack pitched well on Tuesday at Washington. 1 1/3 innings, 1 hit, no runs. Now it's Soto. Soto singled to left earlier. There's a strike. Burdack has pitched scoreless baseball in each of his last 5 outings. He's the leader in the Astros bullpen, an ERA with 1.80 and batting average against 194. 1 ball and 1 strike. He did a fine job last Saturday in Atlanta after that rain delay through 43 pitches, 2 1/3 scoreless innings. And initially he was awarded the win in that game, but then that was taken away from him and given to Felipe Paulino.
It's a cruel world, man.
Good stop by Pudge. 2 balls and a strike.
Cruel world reports out of Arizona that Bob Melvin will be fired today. Numerous sources telling the Arizona Republic that when the D-backs get back from their trip to San Diego, Bob will be let go.
Well, they lost that game to San Diego today, 4-3 in the 10th. They haven't been hitting. They've been wasting some really good pitching from people like Dan Herron, who pitched well again today and got a no decision. 3-1 now as Pudge battles this one. Ooh. That one could have gotten underneath too, but he had the mitt down.
Yeah, he has a tendency to come up a little bit. He was able to pick that one.
Ted Lilly is on deck. Popped up. Carlos Lee is waiting in shallow left center field to win the Cubs' third. The Cubs, though, come up with 2 to take the lead. They had 3 hits and they left 2 men. It's now 3-2 Chicago. Oh my gosh. Who? Arias? Yeah, he's told me he's got a slider and a curveball. I don't know about a changeup. I haven't seen a changeup from him. Let's see, 2. By Aflac, by Steel, by Dodge and by Southwest Airlines. Cubs lead at 3-2 here. It's a beautiful evening out there in Houston. Got a lot of rain this spring. Bayous are running high. And air conditioning pumping inside. It's been a very warm and humid day out there. The Astros come up in the third.
I hope summer's not here already, just settling in.
Let's hope not.
Gross the last couple of days.
May 7th. Pretty warm for May 7th.
Hey, check her out.
It's pink cap night. She looks good in hers. Very good in hers. Kazuo Matsui led off the Astros first with a walk. Rode home on the Miguel Tejada 2-run homer. Lily brings one in for strike one. Matsui has an on-base average of .333 this season. Looping curveball, top to third. Thomas Ramirez playing him perfectly to get that on one bounce. One out.
The Chick-fil-A cows, they're everywhere. Take a look right there on the foul poles. And if an Astro hits the foul pole tonight, fans from the game can take their ticket stub to any greater Houston area Chick-fil-A for a free chicken sandwich. That's each and every home game here at Minute Maid Park. If an Astro player whacks one off that pole, it's a home run, of course, but it's also a chicken sandwich.
Miguel Tejada ripped a 2-run homer his first time up. Looping curveball inside. Ball one to Miggy. He's now driven in 10 runs this season. Snapped the longest home run drought of his career. 173 at bats. And now he's ahead 2-0 again. That's what the count was when he went deep.
He gets another letter high fastball.
His last home run last year was September 10th. Against the Pirates. Gets that one foul, and it's 2-1. Let's see the home run swing.
Really having a difficult time finding the strike zone and just walked Matsui. Falling behind 2-0 on Tejada. Miggy sitting dead red. Double spotlights.
Now he shoots this one to right center field. Milton Bradley back. That's extra bases. Stays in play off the wall. Tejada gets a double this time. What a start for him. 2 extra base hits of the game. That's his 9th double.
The hits seem to come in bunches for him. He's had a bunch of multi-hit games already this year. Then he'll go into a little bit of a slide, and then he'll go nuts again.
He has had 5 3-hit games. That's the most in the National League this year. Has a pretty good shot at number 6 here tonight with 2 already in the bank, and Lance Berkman will try to advance him. Lance is hitting .280 in May. There's strike one. He grounded out third in the first inning. And 143 with runners in scoring position. Carlos Lee's on deck. That big slow curveball again, 72 miles per hour. 0-2. Lilly has broken it out here in the third inning. This is the 1400th game of Lance Berkman's career. He's 7th on the Astros all-time games played list. Jimmy Wynn next up. He needs 26 more. 1-2. Lance has hit 55 career long balls in the month of May. That's the most he has in any month. Upstairs, Lily showing the fastball. It's 2-2.
I would think a lot of hitters have their best months in May.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, April usually belongs to the pitchers because there's cold weather and sometimes the hitter's timing is not quite there yet. And then later in the summer, I think hitters have a tendency to tire. I would think May that they do a lot of damage.
Strike 3 for Lily. He gets strikeout number 3. Let's go to Bart.
Yeah, Brownie, I want to remind fans that Major League Baseball and People Magazine are looking for individuals who have made a difference in their community. 30 everyday All-Stars will be honored at the 2009 All-Star Game in St. Louis. To nominate someone, just go to peopleallstars.com. Back to you.
I'll nominate JD.
What have I done?
You are
a lot. Sit up here and watch baseball games.
You are the second most interesting man in the world. Carlos Lee, the batter. And there's ball one. He singled to left first time up.
Once had an awkward moment just to see what it felt like.
Carlos has sizzled in May. He's hit .458. There's your May theory again. Turn back towards second. Lilly gives you that turn for the hitter, kind of turning his back.
Yeah, that little hitch. A little hesitation and then comes. I imagine he's fairly deceptive. Gives you a little extra to think about and to look at. Miggy's not going anywhere.
So figure Miggy's not going to steal third, 2 outs in the inning, right?
No, he shouldn't be thinking about it, not with Lee up there hitting in 2 outs.
But you don't want him taking liberties with his lead either.
Yeah, just been trying to make him stop, tighten him up a little bit.
1-1, Dave Clark. The sachet out of the way of that ground ball foul by Carlos. There's a lead. Miggy. He doesn't have an infielder who can really help cut into that lead. They're both stationed a long way from second. Sometimes you'll see the second baseman jockey on a right-handed batter, but Fontenot playing very deep.
That's, Carlos will shoot the ball the other way from time to time, so the Cubs have to defend that. They're more worried about defending Carlos Lee with 2 outs here than they are keeping Tejada close. For 2 outs, on just about any base hit, Tejada should score. The outfielders have to play deep because Carlos is a hitter. If you got a pitcher up there and you got your outfielder really shortened up, maybe it makes sense to pinch Tejada a little bit more because you have a chance perhaps of throwing him out. But he's moving with the swing here. And he's going to score on just about any ball to right and center. A sharply hit ball to left could be a challenge.
Low, and it's 3-1 with Hunter Pence on deck. Really struggling here with his command. 2 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. He's walked 1, fanned 3. Pitching to a guy who's hit .333 for his last 16 games. And he walked him. Hunter Pence bats. 2 on, 2 out.
I wasn't willing to give in to Carlos there behind in the count. Tried to drop that hook in there. We're going to start with a fresh count with Hunter.
Hunter's hitting .435 in May. 1 for 1 in this game. He lined a single to right field. Really good swing first time up.
So, when a guy gets intentionally walked in front of you, the dugout will yell, hey, don't let him do it to you. Don't let him dish you like that to the next hitter. That was obviously not an intentional walk, but it was fairly clear what Lilly was thinking. So it's the same idea in Hunter's mind. Wait a minute, he just pitched around Carlos. I'm going to make him pay.
Lilly 4-1 in his career against the Astros with a very good ERA, 3.25. Last year he was 2-0 against Houston with a 1.40 ERA in 3 starts. Falls behind here, 2-0.
This happens a lot to a pitcher. You get a guy in scoring position, you're in a 1-run game, and you start thinking, you start fearing contact. Pitch out of the zone, hoping the hitter will get himself out. The next thing you know, you've walked one guy, and you're in a dangerous count on the next. Hey, Rothschild's going to get somebody heated up in that Cub bullpen.
Phones are ringing early in the bullpens tonight. Fly ball, crushed to center field. Fukudome way back. And he turns and catches it, backpedaling just short of Fowles Hill. And it's no runs, a hit. 2 men stranded after 3. Cubs lead it 3-2.
The LT and LS models come with Boston acoustic sound systems that generate 245 watts of sound, JD, so you can get that thumping going. They also come with Bluetooth for phone and personal cell phone connectivity, iPod port, and a lot more. This is a great car. Get out to your local Chevy dealer and check it out, Brownie.
Well, I think they ought to give me one to drive.
There was some talk about that. Ted Lilly was strike one. He bunted in the air, and that turned out to be an out in the second inning with 2 men on and nobody out. Tim Burdack throws ball one. It's 1-1. Yeah, we met with some of those guys who are sitting down there behind home plate, the Camaro dealers here tonight.
Did you make a deal?
No, we talked about it. Fly ball left field. Carlos Lee backing on it. That's out number one. They said they wanted to get you involved, JD.
I'm all ears, Brandon.
That's a nice looking car, isn't it? One out, and here's Soriano. Soriano 0 for 2. Hit a fly ball to center and bounced into a double play. Tim Burdack and Wesley Wright, the two lefties in the Astros bullpen. And that bullpen has worked 100 innings plus this year. There's ball one. We were discussing that before the game and kind of surprised to check some of the other teams who have been logging a lot of innings in the 96 inning range. That might surprise you. The Dodgers and the Florida Marlins. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Marlins have gone something like 18 games without a win by a starting pitcher. But that was kind of surprising to see the Dodgers relievers had piled up that many innings.
Yeah, their starters are doing pretty well, aren't they?
I thought they were.
Well, let's take a look.
Apparently not.
Well, the Dodgers starters have a 4.10 ERA, which is middle of the pack, about 7th in the National League.
Jason Michaels back in center. He's running out of room out there, checking the wall and leaps, and that one's up off the area above the wall for a home run, and that was just a monster. Soriano with number 8 of the year, and that's his 3rd against the Astros. Cubs lead at 4-2.
There's big flies, and then there's really big flies, and to hit the ball that far, that high, I mean, that was a towering blast. Looks like he knew he got it.
Oh, yeah.
A sweet swing.
They missed it up at the Conoco pump. And Jason Michaels might have been saying something about fan interference up there. There's ball one on Ryan Theriot. 3rd home run against the Astros this year for Soriano, the 16th of his career against Houston. 1 ball, 1 strike to Theriot. Terriot's been on both times, and he scored a run. Cubs have hit 7 long balls against the Astros in the season series. Tried to bunt and missed it.
Yeah, we've seen balls hit up there by the Conoco pump before, but I don't know if I've seen one that high.
Yeah.
Probably have.
922 home runs on the Conoco pump since this ballpark opened.
It's interesting that guy was so upset that he didn't catch it. He was pounding the railing up there. Odds are, if he caught it, he would have thrown it back on the field anyway.
Cubs lead at 4-2. Tail of the tape said 415 feet for Soriano's blast. Fouled away. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. It almost appeared that Jason Michaels' reaction, he thought he could have caught that ball. But he was back underneath it, but the balcony juts out there.
Yeah, I don't think. No, either way, that's gone. Yeah. I mean, if that balcony's not there, if the fan doesn't touch it, it's...
Yeah, he pointed up there.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss, and Theriot really climbed the ladder there. Strikeout number 1 for Burdick.
Astros have teamed up with 94.5 The Buzz for the annual college night. It's tomorrow. Astros Padres get after it at 7:05. You'll catch free live music from 3 Fantastic. That's before the game in the new 5-7 patio. There's going to be a food and drink specials available out there all night long. College students will get discounted tickets with a valid student ID. After the game, Friday night fireworks presented by Marathon Oil Corporation. Big night at the ballpark.
Yes.
Friday's always fun here.
Strike to Fukudome. He has done quite a job tonight with a single, a walk, 2 runs scored. And some good play in center field. And JD will drop by tomorrow night in his brand new Camaro. 0-2. He'll give you a ride around Minute Maid Park. Foul back.
They should have a pink Camaro for pink week here.
They really should. There's a lot of pink around the ballpark all week long. That's the theme. Tonight, the pink caps. And there you have the pink ribbon. And, of course, the big luncheon on Saturday. The Astros and Action Foundation's Pink in the Park Brunch and Bazaar. Astros players and their wives and mothers will be here. You can still get tickets for that at Astros.com. And tomorrow night we'll have pink silicone bracelets to the first 15,000 women 16 and older. Tap foul, still 1-2. And we told you some of the songs they're going to play at the fireworks, weather permitting, tomorrow night with this pink theme. She's a Lady by Tom Jones. Remember that one?
Oh, yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. She's a lady.
You got those lyrics down.
Yeah.
It's amazing how you remember those.
Tom, he and Engelbert Humperdinck.
Yeah. Burdick falls. It's backhanded. Matsui with a play in the dirt and dug out by Berkman. Soriano hits home run number 8, and the Cubs lead it 4-2 in the 4th. States can you see from the top of the Sears Tower? Well, that is in Chicago. So you would be able to see Illinois.
I'll offer up Illinois.
And I would go for Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan would be good.
What other states can you think of in the Midwest?
How about Wisconsin?
Wisconsin is a good guess.
Indiana?
Well, maybe, yeah. Yeah, Indiana.
This could be a trick question. The answer could be Illinois, and that's it.
Yeah, or if your vision isn't too good, maybe none.
What do we have for visual aids? Is it just our eyes, or can we shoot? We got binoculars?
I don't know. Jason Michaels looks at ball 1. He bounced into a 1-4-3 double play in the first inning. The Cubs lead it 4-2. They've out hit the Astros 7-4. Looking through the glasses from out there, the Landry's Crawford boxes. He's getting ready for a home run ball. He wants to be able to see it coming off the bat, because the quicker he can pick it up, the better he can get into position and drop those nachos so he can make a catch. 2-0.
Here comes a knock right here.
Now, how did you know that?
Well, I didn't. Oh. I didn't say I was wrong, but you got to put yourself out there every now and then.
Yeah.
I just thought 2-0, he might throw him a fastball.
Doesn't seem to have a lot of confidence in that pitch, and he's not throwing it for strikes. There's a 4-pitch walk to Michaels. That's the 3rd walk for Lilly. Looks like he's trying to set up his fastball with the other stuff. On a clear day, Affleck wanted to know, what states can you see?
He's getting after Adrian Johnson.
Ooh,
Lily's hot. Hey, by golly, we nailed that.
Yes, we did. And guess what? We now have won a Camaro. Yeah.
Ted Lilly, he looked in at Adrian Johnson, home plate umpire. He gave him it wasn't the hook and horns. He was saying, that's two right there you missed.
Wow.
Now,
that's pretty overt.
That's chirping a little bit.
Doing it like that, that's a pretty overt message, isn't it, to the umpire?
Yeah, umpires usually will take a little more heat from hitters than they will from pitchers.
Coach Rodriguez struck out earlier.
Because they know they have to deal with the pitcher all night long, and they'll just shut that down right away. And with a hitter, it's in close proximity, and sometimes you're not sure what's going on. When a pitcher does it, the whole ballpark, those that are paying attention, we'll see him barking at the umpire.
Lilly with a 4-2 lead. Kepinger's on deck. Cecil Cooper has the bullpen going.
Well, it may have worked for Lilly, because now Pudge is barking at Adrian Johnson after that curveball was called a strike.
Yeah. Ball's high. No balls and 2 strikes. Keppinger waiting next. Then the pitcher's spot, so the Astros have a reliever warming up. Foul ball keeps the count at 0-2 for Pudge Rodriguez. That's Chris Sampson warming up in the Houston bullpen. Started Russ Ortiz in 2 1/3 innings, allowed 6 hits, 3 runs. He walked 3 and fanned 1. That's nowhere close, and it's 2-2 for Ted Lilly. He's really struggling with his command tonight. And he really did not have a good time of it here April 8th, but he survived 4 home runs and won the game despite giving up 8 hits and 5 runs in 5 innings. 11-6. Hit to center field. Kodome backing. Michaels will go back and tag, and he will hold on at first base. Good throw into second. 1 out. It's a good idea, though.
Yeah, good idea. It is a little bit late getting back there, and then Kodome throws pretty well. It was a good position. Probably wasn't going to advance anyway.
This day in Astros history is sponsored by MD Anderson, making cancer history. In 1971, Astros second baseman Joe Morgan collects 4 hits, steals 2 bases, scores 3 times, and drives in 2 to lead the Astros over the Phillies 8-1 in their first game at Veterans Stadium. Jeff Keppinger, the batter, he hit a fly ball to center, and it's ball 1. Keppinger, who's hit lefties so very well, trying to keep this inning going with Tim Burdack on deck. But the Astros are preparing to pinch hit. It's a little bit different right now than it was a few days ago, with only 4 bench players for Houston. Runner going. Pitch inside. The throw from Soto, not in time. Stolen base for Jason Michaels. His first.
Well, he got a heck of a jump. Whether he has read something with Lilly's delivery or he just guessed right as Lilly went. You know, he went on first move as Lilly picked up his leg. It was just a great jump, but not really close at all at second base.
Good time to steal. Now the count is 2-0. 2 balls, 1 strike to Keppinger. Keppinger had that game-winning hit in the 10th, that broken bat single here in the first series of the season against the Cubs. He's a .351 career hitter against Chicago. Time was called. Long delay there as Lilly looked back at Michaels.
Fontenot was in behind Michaels, trying to hold him on and position himself for a pickoff throw from Lilly. And Lilly hesitated, and Keppinger finally stepped out on him. Working awfully hard trying to keep Jason Michaels close out there at second base.
Popped up. Off power back. And he makes the grab. 2 outs, and now Burdack will be called back. What's on tap with the Astros is brought to you by Bud Light. And tomorrow night it's Chad Gaudin and Wandy Rodriguez. Chad, a former Cub, now with the Padres. Padres come in for the first of 3 tomorrow night, and Wandy coming off a no decision. You are erasing the facial hair.
Tighten that up a little bit.
Okay.
Looks like he's got a paintbrush stuck to his chin.
Yeah, it does. Jeff Blum is going to be pinch hitting here for Tim Burdack with Chris Sampson in the bullpen. So the Astros, with the switch hitter Blum coming up, have a runner at second, 2 outs. Burdack worked 1 and 2/3 innings, giving up 1 hit, 1 run, with no walks, 1 strikeout.
Coop is really in a tough spot here with such a short bench, with just 4 bench players. They need the extra pitcher because they haven't been getting innings from their starters. So, they're playing short on the bench, and he just doesn't have many options. The only other right-handed bat he's got is J.R. Tolles, and you're hesitant to use your backup catcher as a pinch hitter, especially this early in the ball game. But Blummer far better from the left side than the right side.
Hasn't had much work as a right-handed batter. He's 2 for 6 this season. There's ball 1 because he normally is on the bench when there's a left-handed starter in the game, as there is tonight. Jeff 0 for 3 in last night's game. He's hitting .368 at home. He does not have a pinch hit at bat this season. Fouls it away. 1-1. Lilly's thrown 70 pitches, 39 of them strikes.
Is it the 4th inning already?
Yeah. You believe it?
Unbelievable.
Well, his game against the Astros in Milwaukee last September 15th was moving along a lot faster than this one. He had a no-hitter for 6 innings, gave up 1 hit in 7, and won it 6-1. And the big curveball gets strike 2 for Ted Lilly.
The curveball has been very effective for him tonight. He's missed with it a few times, but when he does, he misses way up. He's been able to keep it out of the danger zone.
Lilly has a 4-game winning streak over the Astros. He's not lost to them since the 05 season here. Strike 3 call ends the Astros 4th. No runs, no hits, a runner stranded. 4-2 Cubs after 4. with our bracket challenge. And there are your choices this week. The Ausmus NLDS home run. No, it's the Biggio 3000 hit versus the 05 wildcard clincher this week. Go to Astros.com. Cast your vote today. It might be Biggio with number 3000 against the Rockies, or it might be Astros celebrating on the field after clinching the 05 wildcard. Chris Sampson in the game now. It's 4-2 Cubs. Cubs have out hit the Astros 7-4. It'll be Aramis Ramirez to lead it off against Sampson, who's 2-0 with a 2.25 ERA.
Has struggled with his command in Washington the other day. I'd like to get the taste of that one out of his mouth. By and large, though, has been very good this year. That was good.
For a strike. Ramirez has walked and singled. Murdoch had not allowed a homer until tonight. His first 10 innings of the season. Allowed no home runs, but a home run by Soriano provided run number 4 for the Cubs in the 4th inning. Sampson misses there, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Sampson really suffering with those 4 walks in 2/3 of an inning on Tuesday at Washington.
Yeah, he'd only walked 3 men all year prior to that appearance.
It's 1-2. Sampson's 3-1 lifetime against the Cubs with a 3.06 ERA. In the dirt, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Astros relievers have walked 53 in 100 innings coming into this game tonight. Now 3-2 to Ramirez with Hoffpower next. Sampson pitched twice against the Cubs in the season opening series. 2 1/3 scoreless innings in those 2 outings. Ramirez grounds it foul. Ramirez had a 2-run double off him in that Wednesday game on the 8th. Sampson came in with a couple of men on base. Both of them scored, but they were not charged to him. There's some explaining.
To catch the ball. It was right there for you.
Fly ball. Jason Michaels running over toward right center and calling off Hunter Pence. 1 out.
Danny Ozark passed away.
Did he?
Yeah. Former Phillies manager, managed them back in the 70s. Had some great teams.
He was a good one. It's time to announce our progressive fan of the game. Let's go down to Bart Ennis to find out who it is. Bart?
That's right, Brownie. It's Beth Arlington, who is part of the Dragon Boat Racing Championship team. You've won this a couple of times, I understand.
A few, yes, from Continental Airlines.
Well, show the folks your trophy because it's big and it's hideous, but it's really cool. What's the key to a good Dragon Boat Racing team?
Everybody needs to paddle and sing. Be one. Work hard, fly right, and paddle right.
Way to get that promo in there, too. Beth Arlington's our progressive fan of the game. Here, something else for you to carry, just what you need, right?
Yeah.
Brownie, back to you.
You're not going to suggest that she draped that over the statue, are you? There's ball 1 to Hoffpower. Hoffpower, an RBI single in 2 trips.
She brought her trophy to the game.
Yeah. Very proud of it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kind of like the Stanley Cup, JD. They bring it around. You know, every member of the team carries it around for a week or something, right?
To bring your dragon with you. Yeah, that's one of the great traditions in sports, actually. The Stanley Cup winner, the guy parades the cup through his hometown.
Yeah.
Takes it to the local tavern.
Who's going to be parading that cup this year? The Penguins?
I really don't know. No, it's not going to be my Canadiens.
No. 2 balls, 2 strikes. An appeal there to Wally Bell, the third base umpire. Atlanta beat Florida today in Florida 4-2. Jair Jurgens won that one. Mike Gonzalez got save number 5. Anibal Sanchez was the loser.
Oh, he's killing my fantasy club.
He did not pitch well today.
Man, he's struggling. I'm counting on him.
3-2 now. David Ross hit a home run, number 3 for the Braves. Casey Kochman, number 1. Andy Ramirez hit a couple for the Fish, giving him 5. Grounded to first. Lance Berkman. 2 outs for Chris Sampson. It's gone 3-2 on both batters. Chris doesn't usually go to a lot of 3-2 counts. Milton Bradley is next. He singled in a run in the 3rd. He's 1 for 2.
No, he likes to get the deal done with early, likes to attack with that sinker, but these Cub hitters, you know, when you come in and you're facing Ramos Ramirez, you tend to be a little cautious. Hoffpauir had a good patient at bat.
Well, he hit the spot there and got strike 1 call right where Pudge set up the target. Pudge was really down low in that crouch. Now he's moving inside this time. And he hits that spot, gets a fly ball to right center field, shallow. Matsui calling. So Sampson with precision pitching. Gets Bradley on 2 pitches, has a 1-2-3 fifth, and keeps the score 4-2 Cubs. Tejada on deck as Kazuo Matsui pushes a bunt up the first base line and runs to the inside and is tagged out. He was going to try to go inside, it looked like, on Hoffpauir, who was moving over. And that's out number 1. Hoffpauir was kind of blocking his running lane a little bit.
Yeah, the fielder has the right to make the play on the ball, so it's the base runner's responsibility to avoid contact.
He was inside, and then you see him shift.
Trying to push that ball out. Toward second base, I imagine, is what he was trying to do.
Hoffpauir took care of it. Now Miguel Tejada, 2-run homer and a double to right center. And he gets another big Lilly curveball at 71 for ball 1 with Lance Berkman on deck. Kansas City got more good pitching today and beat Seattle 3-1 in Kansas City. Ryan Bannister won that one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Joaquin Soria got a 7th save. The Royals have worked their way into first place. They've now won 6 in a row, and they are 18-11.
Well, that'd be fun if they could hang in there all year.
That would be quite a story.
The last time they were good.
Ooh, 85.
George Brett.
Popped up foul. Hoffpauir over. And he makes the grab on that. Lilly has thrown first pitch strikes to 7 of 20. Our Jack in the Box standings show you a comparison between the 3rd and 4th largest cities in the United States. The Windy City, I thought it was founded before 1833. When was Mrs. O'Leary's cow?
I'm not sure.
The Great Fire of Chicago. Well, that was later, maybe. Space City in 1836. Many more restaurants here. And you see these sports legends. That's Berkman, the batter. And there's strike one on the fastball. Berkman 0 for 2. Maybe that was the Great Fire of Chicago of what? Early 1900s. So I take it back. The Astros will be there on the next road trip. They go to Colorado first and then Chicago. A weekend series in Chicago with 3-day games.
Late one night when we were all in bed, Mrs. O'Leary lit a lantern in the shed. The cow kicked it over, then winked her eye and said, "There'll be a hot time in the old town tonight." You know that song, Brownie?
Oh, yeah. Actually, that fire was in 1871, JD, so I was wrong. 1 and 2, and Lance, I don't think liked that call. Fire was actually outside Chicago, started in a barn. Curveball that bounces, a strikeout, and Soto throws to Hoffpauir to complete the inning. That's strikeout number 5 through 5. Ted Lilly and the Cubs lead the Astros 4-2. For the Coors Light freeze cam, showing you a play from the first inning. Ryan Theriot had walked, advanced to third base, and he was picked off by Pudge Rodriguez. Coors Light freeze cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Theriot very unhappy at the call by Wally Bell. Stormed after Bell. Mike Quade kept him in the game. Now Mike Fontenot, who was Theriot's teammate at LSU, opens the 6th inning. Fontenot has reached on an error. Hit a sac fly. Goes for the first pitch. Towering fly ball. Shallow left. Carlos Lee. There's a 1 pitch out for Chris Sampson. He needed 15 pitches to get 3 outs in the 5th. Soto next.
Important to post a 0 here. Bottom of the order up for the Cubs. And Astros have 4, 5, 6 due up in the bottom half of the inning. Chance maybe to turn this game.
Soto has a single and a fly ball to left. And he takes strike 1. There's an article in a recent magazine. Tim McCarver ranked the best catchers in baseball. And he had Soto number 1.
Well, based on last year's performance, I can see where Tim came up with that.
It says rare leadership skills combined with punch offensively. 1-2. Number 2 was Joe Mauer. Number 3, Yadier Molina. 4, Brian McCann. 5, Russell Martin.
I might go Mauer Molina.
Okay. Ball to third. Keppinger.
I don't really see Mauer play much. I just know he can rake.
We'll see him in Minnesota this year. Astros will be there in June. He just came back anyway. He missed all of April with an injury. Ted Lilly is coming up for the 3rd time. He's 0 for 2.
But I know when you talk about the catching position, Yadier Molina clearly superior to Soto.
Yeah.
And just, the defensive part of it.
I have to agree with that. Sampson is pitcher number 3 for the Astros tonight. Lilly, there's strike 1. Big cut for Lilly. The Cubs have had 21 starts of 6 innings or more by their starting pitchers. That's good movement there for Sampson, and it's 0-2. Of course, Zambrano didn't want to go on the DL, but with a hamstring problem. So he is not in their rotation right now. They'll call up Randy Wells, according to reports, to start for them tomorrow in Milwaukee. He's already with them. A strikeout makes it 6 straight since Sampson came in, and it's 4-2 Cubs in the 6th. Let's hear from Humberto Quintero on his favorite baseball player.
Ivan Rodriguez always. I have another brother play for Texas a long time ago, and we come into Florida when Texas is over here in Port Charlotte. So I had videos and everything on hand, and I always love it. I love it how he played and watch it all the time.
Carlos Lee, fly ball. And Alfonso Soriano trots over in left field toward the line and jumps up to make a catch. That's what he likes to do. Likes to jump in the air as he catches the ball. 1 pitch, 1 out in the home 6th. And Lee, who had walked and singled, now retired. Now it's Hunter Pence. Pence is 1 for 2. Ted Lilly at 81 pitches for the night. Maintains the lead. Is settling down.
Yeah, Astros a couple opportunities since that first inning, but not much. He's only given up the one hit since the first. Went out double by Tejada in the third.
High to center field. Ukadome pursuing it. 2 pitches, 2 outs for Lilly.
It's a hang with him 100 night. He's hit about 800 feet worth of outs tonight in his last 2 at bats.
Yes, he has.
But, you know, and that's part of what makes Lilly effective is you throw that fastball up and away, and you get the hitter to hit it to the big part of the ballpark. And in this ballpark, you can get away with a lot. Throw it up there, outer part of the plate, up around the letters, get a high fly ball to center field, and let Fukudome run under it. And try it again there.
Jason Michaels taking ball 1. Bounced into a double play, walked and stolen a base. Cardinals beat the Pirates 5-2. Todd Wellemeyer won that one. The save from Ryan Franklin, beating Ross Ollendorf. 2 balls, no strikes. Jason LaRue hit his first home run. Robinson Diaz went deep for the Buccos.
Cardinals put Rick Ankiel on the disabled list, running into the wall the other night head first.
2-1.
Probably feels like he's been in a car accident.
Yeah, that was ugly to watch. Cardinals are now 19-10. Lou Piniella says we need to get better. 3 balls and a strike. Piniella said in an article yesterday in Sports Weekly, St. Louis is a better team than us. And right now there are a few teams in our division that are better than us. That's got to change. Foul back. 3-2. And the Cubs have a $140 million payroll. They're the 2-time defending Central Division champs. But Piniella saw some flaws in his team this spring. He thinks that they're being exposed now, although they're 5-1 in May. Ukadome over to right center. Milton Bradley trots in from right to handle the 3rd fly ball out of the inning for Chad Lilly, who maintains his 4-2 lead through 6. By Southwest Airlines. It's cooling down outside, inside a 4-2 ball game. Things have cooled down on the scoreboard. The Cubs got 1 in the first, 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth. The Astros had a 2-1 lead after 2. But their offense now has been stagnant after a 1-out double in the third by Tejada. 9 straight have been retired by Lilly. Chris Sampson has retired all 6 men he has faced. He begins his 3rd inning of work. He's due up 3rd in the bottom of this frame. Alfonso Soriano has a homer and 3 trips. And there's strike 1 to Soriano.
It looks like Ted Lilly's done for the evening. There's action in the Cubs bullpen. He was shaking hands in the dugout when he came off the field.
Aaron Heilman warming up. Hunter Pence in right. 1 out for Sampson.
I think whenever you catch a fly ball that Alfonso Soriano hit, you should jump in the air to catch it like he does. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. Heilman getting loose.
Because if you jumped and you took it off your forehead, it wouldn't be so much fun.
Yeah, I would think that would be not the ideal way to catch a fly ball with your eyes moving up and down like that. But it works for him. Ryan Theriot is 1 for 2 with a walk.
It works for him almost all the time. He's missed a couple, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems to me that it's kind of silly.
He's styling. Kappinger came walking in on that last pitch to Theriot. Now he's going to do the same thing. Theriot takes it. 1-1. Starts back now. He's not as deep as he has been starting. He's starting even with the bag this time. And he stays in. The pitch is ball 2. 2-1 with Fukudome on deck. Giants beat Colorado in Denver today 8-3. Giants are a game above 500, 14-13. Matt Cain was the winner over Jason Marquis.
Well, it will be interesting to see how the Dodgers do Manny-less for the next 50 days.
Ooh, won't it? That's a blow to them. 50-game suspension.
For a banned substance identified not as a steroid, right?
Yes. There's a play by Tejada. He said it was prescribed by his doctor for a medical issue, and his doctor's in Florida.
Yeah. Buying it.
Okay.
And bring out your mom and celebrate Mother's Day at Minute Maid Park. It's this Sunday. It's a 105 game with the Padres. First 10,000 women 16 years of age and older will take home that nifty Mother's Day tote bag right there. That's courtesy of Centerpoint Energy. So bring mom to the yard. 1-877-9-ASTROS or astros.com.
Got to treat mom well on Sunday. Really well. Fukudome has scored twice in this game. Strike 1. What do you think most people do on Mother's Day to help mom out? Take her to brunch?
That's the big brunch. So it's a tradition. Yeah. Cook dinner, take her to dinner.
Yeah.
Breakfast in bed.
Gifts, spa treatments.
9 holes of golf.
Yeah.
Be nice. Mom.
Oh, 2. But it's only one day. So some people probably treat her well for maybe an entire week. Give her 1 week off out of 52. Ground ball to second. Matsui flipping to Berkman. What a job by Sampson. 3 perfect innings. Now he'll be leaving for a pinch hitter with the Astros trailing 4-2.
And Steve Flynn, both from Chevrolet. We've been telling you all night about the new Camaro. And Mark, let's start with you. After a 7-year hiatus, the Camaro is back. And I know a lot of enthusiasts are excited about this car. Talk about it a little bit.
It's back in a big way. In fact, we were swamped today. We got the enthusiasts that are out there in droves with the V8, 426 horsepower. We also have a V6 engine that starts at $23,000 and gets 29 miles to the gallon. So we got a Camaro that we believe is going to satisfy a whole range of new buyers, and we're really excited to talk about product again.
Well, that's really neat that you can get a sports car and it's not a gas guzzler too. Steve, tell the folks where they can go to get their Camaro.
Well, we had 25 Chevrolet dealers here today launching the brand new Camaro here in the Houston area. It's just the start of a fantastic summer-long promotion. 25 dealers in the local Houston area. It's going to be spectacular. Really good.
Well, it is a spectacular automobile. When you get a chance, go to your nearest Chevy dealer and test drive one. You will love it. Brownie, back to you.
Thank you, Bart. 4-2. Cubs lead the Astros. Aaron Heilman in the game, facing Pudge Rodriguez, who's 0 for 2. And his first pitch is a breaking ball outside, ball 1. Ted Lilly, throwing 88 pitches, went 6 innings, giving up 4 hits and 2 runs, walking 3, fanning 5, in a position to be a winner for the 4th time this year. Heilman lets go with a fastball at 93, and that evens the count at 1-1.
Heilman working for the 14th time this year. ERA 4.5, 2-1 record. Fastball, slider, changeup. Well, Lillard is doing his best pitching at the end there, and with just 88 pitches, probably could have given Lou Piniella one more.
Heilman has pitched effectively twice against the Astros this year in that season opening series for a total of an inning and 2/3. And he gets a strikeout. 10 straight Astros have been set down. Our league leaders are brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Tonight we check out the Astros among the active RBI leaders. Pudge is 11th, Miggy 14th, Carlos 19th, and Lance 25th. Jeff Keppinger is 0 for 2. 3 of the Astros' 4 hits came in the first inning. It's ball 1. Pinch hitter time next. Michael Bourne emerges from the dugout. Heilman closed out Saturday's 6-1 win over Florida and struck out all 3 men he faced in that one. Rushed that one up at 94, but Soto wants it down. And it's 2-0. Some pitchers are better off around 91 if they can command it, keep it down. Heilman, 30 years old, formerly with the Mets in Seattle. 2-1. There's a first-round pick in 01 from Notre Dame. Heilman has worked often over the years. 78 appearances last year for the Mets, 81 the year before. Ground ball third. Ramirez got it out of his glove, but threw it away. Keppinger heads for second. Ramirez went down and left his feet, and then he couldn't get a grip on the ball for the throw, and he launched it. Off power, went up and tried to snag it, but that'll be an error for Ramirez.
A real pretty play with the glove work on the backhand side, and then when he couldn't get the handle, he had to hurry the throw. Never did get a good grip on the ball.
Two-base throwing error for Ramirez. That's his first error.
A bad feeling for an infielder. He's trying to get the handle and he can't, and he's seeing that runner go down the line, realizing that he's running out of time.
First error of the year for Ramirez. Now Michael Bourne's the pinch hitter for Chris Sampson, who went 3 innings, allowing no hits, no runs, with no walks and 1 strikeout. Bourne's on a 6-game hitting streak. Showing bunt and taking ball 1 with Matsui on deck. Each club has 1 error tonight now. Bourne at .299 with 1 homer, has 9 runs batted in. Last night, Michael was 1 for 4 and scored a run. Lets that one go, and the count runs to 2-0.
Heilman's got real good life on his fastball tonight. Good movement on it, throwing hard. First came to the big leagues with the Mets in 03. As a starting pitcher, really didn't have much success.
By Bourne to make it 2-1 to Michael. During Michael's 6-game hitting streak, he's hit .393, 11 for 28. He leads the club in batting average with runners in scoring position, .429. A really good road trip. It's 2-2. Hitting .393 for the month of May.
It looked like he was trying to pull that ball, and that's one he's got to shoot the other way. That fastball moving away from him.
First pinch hit at bat of the year. And now 3-2.
And to me, that's the biggest difference in Michael this year over last. Just a little more patient, a little more comfortable at home plate.
Cubs relievers have won 4 and lost 5. They've walked 53 in 78 innings. It's been an issue with their club. And a strikeout for Heilman. His second.
Dialed that one up at 96 miles an hour.
Tonight's Astros box score is brought to you by Firestone. Matsui has a walk and a run. Tejada the big night. 2-run homer and a double. Lee a single. Pence a single. Not much hitting for the Astros tonight. Heilman has 2 outs and a runner at second, facing Matsui, who's 0 for 2 with that walk. Cubs relievers have a high ERA, 4.71. Jeff Samardzija has been sent back down to the minor leagues. There's ball 1. Chad Fox, who grew up in this area, has rejoined the Cubs during this series. He's brought in from Iowa prior to last night's game. Strike evens the count at 1-1.
Nice for Chad to get called up when the team's in Houston.
Yeah.
Gets to spend the night at home.
Where does he live? Woodlands?
Somewhere out that way.
Shot on one hop. And Terrio makes the play on Matsui. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 left after 7, 4-2 Cubs. The 8th coming. The Home Depot doing more on defense shows you a couple of plays in this ball game. A pickoff there of Ryan Theriot by Pudge in the top of the first inning at third base. And then Fukudome with a roller up the middle. Matsui with a good play to get him in the 4th inning. Now in this 4-2 game, we move to the 8th inning, and it's Wesley Wright taking over against Aramis Ramirez. Fouls it, strike one. Ramirez has been on twice with a walk and a single. Excellent job by Chris Sampson, retiring 9 straight to keep the game close. The Astros have Tejada, Berkman, and Lee due up in the bottom of the 8th inning, with Carlos Marmol warming up for the Cubs. No balls and 2 strikes. Wesley Wright 1-1 with a 7.45 ERA.
I came in and worked scoreless inning last night. Punched out a couple, didn't walk anybody, no hits, threw the ball quite well. Trying to get back into rhythm, struggling for a little bit.
Foul away, still 0-2. Yeah, he made quick work of the Cubbies last night in the 8th inning. Back in top form. A lot of the guys in the bullpen had some difficult circumstances on the road trip. Rain delays, rainy games in which they pitched, long ball games. In the hole at shortstop, Tejada throws from the outfield grass, and Berkman on one bounce cannot receive it in time to get the out. Ramirez reaches with the long infield hit. It's a looping throw. He's on for the 3rd time.
Miggy made him earn it, made him hustle down that line.
Now runner at first. Hoffpauir the batter. Hoffpauir 1 for 3 in RBI. Astros set up for a double play here. And it's strike one.
Well, how about Chris Sampson? Man, is he good.
Excellent. Got to put him at ease to have an outing like that. Toward left center field, Michaels back, and that one is extra bases. Kicks off the wall, stays in play. Ramirez to third, a double for Hoffpauir. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. Hoffpauir's 4th double.
Oh, this isn't working out. Wesley Wright, the lefty, against Hoffpauir, the lefty, and Hoffpauir puts a real nice swing on it. Can ill afford to give up any more, but it's going to be awfully tough. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. And despite a 145 batting average, a very good hitter in the batter's box.
Yeah, Milton Bradley 1 for 3 tonight. An RBI single in the 3rd. Infield in. Ball 1 to Bradley. The Cubs just obliterated teams quite often last year. They outscored their opponents by 184 runs. That was the biggest run differential in the majors last year. And yet they made some changes in their club. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bradley one of those. Felipe Paulino's warming up for Houston. Jason Marquis now with Colorado. 1 and 2. Cubs won 97 and lost 64 last year. There's Paulino in the Astros pen. Mike Fontenot, another left-handed hitter, on deck.
He's got to be getting ready for Soto.
2-2 now on Bradley. Wesley Wright got his first major league win last year at Chicago. He's 2-0 lifetime against the Cubs with a 2.84 ERA. And he gets a strikeout looking on Bradley.
If you're traveling and can't watch your Astros, you can always catch the game on your computer with MLB.TV, the ultimate baseball experience featuring 100 out-of-market games per week live on your computer. And you can find it all at Astros.com. How about that? Punching out Milton Bradley there.
That's something.
Second and third, nobody out.
Big out for the Astros, who trail by 2. Now Fontenot, the number 7 hitter, he has an RBI tonight on a sac fly. And the Cubs would certainly take another one of those right here. Infield in tight with 1 out. That's strike 1 to Fontenot. Youthful Wesley Wright. 24 years old. Foul back, and it's 0-2. Doug Brocale does have a tear in the hamstring, and the Astros are going to work with him on rehabbing it. Jose Valverde's going to try to get out here if he hasn't been out here already in the clubhouse. We're not sure this homestand, but the Astros have a plan designed for him, and he's not expected back until possibly the end of this month. They put him in a chair and have him do some throwing from a seated position. Good block by Pudge. 1-2.
They're going to put him in a chair?
Yeah, they want to keep his arm strength up, so he'll be throwing in a chair. Have you heard of that one before?
I have not.
That's a nice block. He really went down on both knees that time and closed the trap door. That was what he did not do last night on those 2 pass balls that got between his legs. Ooh, strike 3.
Yeah. How about this?
Wesley Wright, 2 in a row. Game summary brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Miguel Tejada hit his first homer in the first inning since last September 10th. It was 173 at-bats between home runs, the longest of his career. Russ Ortiz, 2 1/3 innings, 7 straight Astros starter to go less than 6. Ted Lilly, 6 innings, 2 earned runs. He retired the last 9. Chris Sampson, 3 perfect innings, and now Cecil Cooper's coming out. He's got Paulino, and Soto is going to be hitting.
That's the rub here. You know, you got a guy who just punched out 2 and is throwing the ball really, really well. And you weigh that against the right on right advantage, and Coop comes down on the side of the right on right.
Tonight, the Texas Chevy dealers introduced the 2010 Camaro to fans outside Minute Maid Park. The High Performance SS comes with 20-inch aluminum wheels and a rear spoiler. This model also comes with a Hydra-Matic 6-speed automatic or manual transmission. It's a sweet ride. Brownie, I think you need to get one of these and give us all rides to work.
Oh, yeah. That'll work. We'll do some carpooling.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is a sweet ride. Felipe Paulino in the game now. Giovanni Soto, the batter. Runners at second and third. And there's ball one with 2 outs in the inning. Soto's 1 for 3. Paulino came in Monday with the bases loaded, and all 3 of those runners scored. And he was charged with 2 runs in 1/3 of an inning in the 9-4 loss. A rough night for him. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cubs are 3 for 10 with runners in scoring position tonight.
And for the most part, he's thrown the ball well since coming up. A couple real good starts.
Fastball, towering pop up the line. Berkman over into foul ground now. Oh, and it drops. And Matsui behind him, and Berkman apparently thought he called off Lance, and they turned around and just looked, and Matsui wasn't there to catch it. So there was miscommunication on that foul pop.
Yeah, the interpreter can't go out there with you. This is a play you prefer to have the second baseman take. He's got a better angle pursuing that ball. And Lance clearly heard something, heard what he thought was Matsui calling him off.
Maybe it was that guy over there in the blue cap. Struck him out anyway.
Pick up the boys.
No runs, 2 hits. 2 men left in scoring position. 4-2 Cubs. Had some effort tonight. Now Miguel Tejada started the Astros off well with his 2-run homer in the first inning, gave them a 2-1 lead, but they have not scored since then. They've kept it close. Now they would love to break through against Carlos Marmol. Marmol taking over. We have other changes. Joey Gathright is in center field for the Cubs. Kosuke Fukudome has moved to right field. Milton Bradley coming out of the game after going 1 for 4 with an RBI. And the pitcher, Marmol, is in the 6th spot in the order. He is 0-1, 2 saves, a 4.85 ERA.
Yeah, Marmol, one of the better setup men in the National League, in all of baseball for that matter. He's had a little bit of a bumpy ride this year. You see the control's been an issue. He's walked 12 guys in 13 innings. Came in throwing pellets last night, a scoreless inning.
That's what he typically does every time against the Astros. Tejada, 2-run homer and a double. And there's 95 on the inside corner, strike 1. Marmol, since 2006 against the Houston Astros, has made 17 straight scoreless appearances. 18 2/3 innings, 3 hits, no runs. Up the right field line, into the corner. Fukudome will watch it go over the fence for a double. Tejada's 3rd extra base hit of the night. That's his 10th double of the year. 6th 3-hit game this year, tied for the major league lead.
10 total bases tonight for Miggy. The home run, a pair of doubles. He shoots his fastball the other way. We see him do that a lot. It's somewhat uncharacteristic of him when he pulled that home run from Lilly on the high fastball. Likes to go the other way with that heater.
Now it's Lance Berkman. 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Doesn't have the ball out of the infield tonight. There's ball 1. Marmol opened the season in spring training vying for that closer spot, but it went to Gregg, who got the save last night. Kevin Gregg. Fly ball left field will go foul. Lance hit a home run to left field last night. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Marmol has settled back into this role of getting the hold when he comes in and has a lead in a save situation like this. He got his 4th consecutive hold last night. High octane heater, 1 and 2. He really rushes it up there. He struck out 114 last year in 87 innings.
Hides the ball well too. And then throws that 96-mile-an-hour heater at the letters. That's awfully tough to get to.
And he gets a strikeout. 1 out, and it's Carlos Lee next. Strikeout number 8 for Cubs pitchers tonight.
Kind of gets low, and then that fastball explodes as it gets into the hitting zone. Lance a little over anxious here, trying to get something done.
Carlos Lee has a hit and a walk tonight in 3 trips. Strike to Lee. Aaron Heilman in 1 inning allowed no hits, no runs, had no walks, 2 strikeouts. Oakland beat Texas today in Oakland 9-4. A win for Cahill. Strike, and it's 0-2 now. Hunter Pence on deck. Marmol from the Dominican Republic has 3 scoreless outings against the Astros this season. Pitched 82 times last year. And he gets a strikeout of Lee. Now Hunter Pence.
He's got Lance with the high fastballs. He beat Carlos with sliders.
Hunter's 1 for 3. Single to right in the 1st inning. Last night against Marmol in the 8th inning, he bounced into a force play. Jason Michaels is on deck. There's ball 1 with that arm angle. He can be really tough on a right-handed batter. It's 2-0. Lefty hitting Darren Erstad still available on Cecil Cooper's bench. Jeff Blum and Michael Bourne were used earlier in the game. Fouled away, and it's 2-1.
Well, the good news is because of the outstanding work by the Astros bullpen, 1 swing away from tying this ball game. If he hangs one of those sliders to Hunter can get the head out of one of those heaters. He's had good swings tonight. Thrown out deep to center field each of his last 2 times up. And it came on the heels of a line drive single to right his first trip.
2-2. That one poured in at 96 miles per hour. And a strikeout. He struck out Berkman, Lee, and Pence after a leadoff double by Tejada. 4-2 Cubs, moving to the ninth. And by your Texas Ford dealers. It's still 4-2. And it has been 4-2 ever since the top of the fourth inning ended here at Minute Maid Park tonight. 4-9-1 for the Cubs, 2-5-1 for the Astros. Chicago is stranded 7. Houston has left 6. Felipe Paulino will work to a pinch hitter, Aaron Miles, and home plate umpire saying something to Lou Piniella as Miles is announced into the game.
What's going on here?
Something about a straight up switch.
I don't know what's going on. Is Gathright hurt? And they put him in the 9-hole, right, when they put him in center field?
Yes, good point. Miles a 2-3 hitter, has no homers, 3 runs batted in. So yes, it is Gathright. No, Gathright is listed on the scoreboard in the 6th spot.
Okay, so they didn't. I thought they double switched.
That's what we thought. But apparently not.
That's what we get for thinking.
No. That must have been the confusion there with the umpire. Who now has it all straightened out. And Miles pitch hitting for Marmol.
All right.
Has an 0-2 count.
All righty.
Marmol in 1 inning allowed 1 hit, no runs. Had no walks, and he struck out 3. A happy little camper. Foul back, and it stays at 0-2 to Aaron Miles. Miles, a valuable piece of the puzzle for the Cubs. He started last night at second base, had a double and a walk. Switch hitting middle infielder. Played third base too. And the Cubs have pitched very well tonight. Cubs have struck out 10 Astros. They lead the league. Their pitchers striking out more than any other team in the National League so far.
You know who owns Aaron Miles?
No.
J.R. Tolles.
Really? Oh, that's right. That's right.
In St. Louis.
Yeah,
Miles came into pitching that blowout game.
Miles was pitching. That's right. And Paul Janisch pitched last night for Cincinnati.
That's what J.R. is telling Booney right now. I own this guy. You can't get me out.
1-2. Yeah, nice to see Aaron Boone around. And as he told us last night, when he came on the air, he's had a smile on his face the whole time here, and you can see it there.
Being back at the ballpark in uniform.
Back in his element.
You know, he grew up at the ballpark. Yeah. His dad was still a big leaguer when Aaron was probably 16, 17 years of age. So, most kids, whose dads play, they might be around it a little bit when they're young, but that's the end of it. Those guys that play forever, their kids spend their whole lives at the yard.
Now 3-2, and pretty soon his dad will be passed on the all-time games caught list by Pudge. Line off the mitt of Berkman into right field. Miles hustling around first. Hunter Pence gets to it and holds him to a single. A pinch single for Aaron Miles. He blistered that ball.
Cubs now looking to play a little add-on here in the top half of the ninth. You know, just about any other leadoff man in the league, this would be a bunt situation. Unlikely Soriano's going to be up here bunting.
Yeah. That gives Miles a 6-game hitting streak. He got it the hard way with his first pinch hit of the year. Soriano with a homer in 4 trips. And ball 1 comes up at 98. Soriano likes first pitch fastballs, but that one was too high even for him. Mets beat the Phillies 7-5 at Citi Field. Mike Pelfrey got the win to go to 4-0. K-Rod got his night save, beating Jamie Moyer. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Mets are now 14-13. The Phillies had moved into first last night. They're 14-12 now. Ryan Howard hit his 6th for them. Jason Worth number 5. Carlos Beltran with number 5 for the Mets. There's a high fastball that he liked at 96.
Well, you're taking 2 pitches in a row. There's no way he's going to take 3 in a row. He likes to swing the bat too much.
That's too much inactivity. The Dodgers have scored 6 in the bottom of the first, 6-0 over Washington. And it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Dodgers now have set the record in modern day baseball for the most wins at home to open the season. 13-0. That'll be tested now without Manny in their lineup. Matt Kemp hit his 4th home run tonight. That's cracked deep to left field. Carlos Lee just turns and watches it bang above the archway for a long 2-run homer for Soriano, his 2nd of the night. 6-2 Cubs. Soriano now with 9 home runs, 17 runs batted in.
97-mile-an-hour fastball from Paulino, and Soriano just jumped all over it. Soriano kind of like Vinny Castilla, the kid that, hey, if it's not triple digits, you're not going to get it by me. And Soriano unloads for the 2nd time.
Hit way up above that archway in left center field. The Cubs lead it now 6-2. Soriano's hit 4 long balls against the Astros this year. Ryan Theriot with a line drive hit to left field. Carlos Lee over. And here's a throw to second with Theriot coming in with a double. His 4th of the year. 2nd hit of the night for Theriot.
And Dewey Robinson going to go out and have a chat with his young right-hander. Tejada in there as well. Paulino's got great stuff. We just need to reinforce the importance of location.
Paulino, of course, has been a starting pitcher throughout most of his career, making the adjustment to relief work now. And now he'll face Fukudome. He has a hit and a walk, has scored 2 runs tonight. Ramos Ramirez on deck. The Cubs now have pounded out a dozen hits. Off speed pitch, ball 1. Baltimore shaded Minnesota 5-4. It's 2 balls and no strikes.
Hey, a premature welcome back to the big leagues for Dontrell Willis, scheduled to make a start for Detroit next week against the Twins.
Okay.
It'd be nice to have him back and performing well.
Yeah, he had good numbers at AAA in his most recent start.
Such a fun guy and fun to watch pitch.
Well, there were stories that as they tried to iron out some of the problems with his delivery, they had made him too smooth in his delivery. Took away the herky-jerkiness, which made him awfully tough to hit when he was throwing well. 3 balls and a strike.
And they ended up putting him on the disabled list with anxiety disorder.
Mets
we used to call it the thing, right? You just have no idea where it's going.
Yep. That's a horrible problem. Carlos Lee waiting in left field. 1 out. The Astros are celebrating their 10 years in Minute Maid Park this season. Help us pick the best moment in our 10-year bracket challenge. Go to Astros.com to cast your vote today to pick the top moment in Minute Maid Park history. This week, you have a choice of 2. Biggio's 3,000th hit or the 05 wild card clincher. 1 out runner at second, and now it's Aramis Ramirez batting. Ramirez has 2 hits and a walk. And the Cubs have out hit the Astros 12-5 with 1 error for each club. There's ball 1. Tampa Bay has knocked off the Yankees 8-6 at Yankee Stadium. With a boatload of home runs in that game.
So ball's still flying out of there, huh?
Fairly that so, out? Yeah. Let's see. Carlos Pena hit his 13th tonight. Evan Longoria hit 2 to give him 10. Ben Zobrist, number 5. Jason Bartlett, 4. Carl Crawford, 1. Yankees had 2. Johnny Damon, 7. And Hideki Matsui, number 3. The Yankee pitching staff has been in for rough sledding this season. 1 and 2. That's 8 home runs in that ball game.
Dan Wheeler got the win in that game. Mariano Rivera was the loser. Tampa scored 2 in the top of the 9th.
Times are changing in New York, it would seem anyway. Bouncer third, foul, and Joe Torre came out with a supportive comment about Joe Girardi. Said, hey, he's not the problem. Great young manager. He's doing a fine job. He'll get it figured out.
Andy Pettitte started tonight for the Yankees. He worked 6, gave up 5 runs, 4 long balls. Jeff Neiman, the Rice product, started for Tampa Bay. Jeff went 3 1/3 and allowed a couple runs, no decision.
We'll see Josh Gere, another Rice product, here Sunday for the Padres against the Astros. Roy Oswalt pitching on Sunday, still shooting for win number 1 of the year. It's Brian Moeller Saturday night against Kevin Correa. Tomorrow night, Wandy Rodriguez and Chad Gaudin. Wandy has one of the best ERAs in the league, 2.19. Line to left. Terrio around third, coming home. Carlos Lee with a throw to the plate, not in time. 7-2 Cubs. RBI single Ramirez on his 3rd hit. It's his 16th run batted in. Fourth hit of the inning.
Yeah, 13 hits on the night for the Cubs now. They really open this thing up. Fastball, belly button high and in a little bit.
Terrio comes steaming home. His 2nd run of the night. And Ramirez continues to rip the ball here at Minute Maid Park. Now Hoff power. Ball 1 to him.
And Pudge telling Felipe, settle down. Getting frustrated out there. Tried to throw that one about 120 miles an hour.
Liner foul.
They're on that heater. That was a little bit of a cut fastball. And I guess, I mean, that would be a real difference maker for Felipe, would be to come up with a real good off-speed pitch. Straight change. He's got one, but, you know, I think when he starts to get into jams like this, he relies on the fastball slider combination. Something soft. Might get the hitters off that heater a little bit.
2 balls and a strike. Joe Gathride's on deck. Cubs trying to make it a 4-1 start to the season series against the Astros. Foul back. Randy Wells will be their starter in Milwaukee tomorrow night against Dave Bush. Then they'll have Ryan Dempster and Sean Marshall also working in that series. So the Astros will probably see Marshall on Friday in Chicago. Two balls, 2 strikes. And now a full count.
Does Ryan Franklin lead the league in saves?
He has
He's got 9.
He might.
Isn't that funny?
It is
That
funny.
was such a big issue when we were in St. Louis.
Yeah, that would be unexpected because the Cardinals didn't seem to know who their closer was coming out of spring training. And Franklin was thought of by many as more of a setup guy, which he has been throughout most of his career.
Well, yeah, he came into play tonight tied with Broxton and K-Rod and Heath Bell.
Heath Bell and the Padres are here tomorrow night. What a nice start for him. There's a walk. Hoffpower reaching, and Gathright will be next with runners at first and second and 1 out.
If this were a boxing match, you'd be tempted to throw in the towel right now and just save Paulino and everybody else out there in that bullpen for tomorrow night. Trying to rally the troops, stay positive.
Gathright up for the first time in this ball game. Speedy outfielder, usually comes in for defensive purposes with a lead. Shot past the diving Tejada, and here is Ramirez stopping at third base. Bases are loaded. Gathright really jumped all over that pitch and smacked it hard.
Now action in the Astros pen because you just don't want to heap too much abuse on a youngster like Paulino. And he came up from the minor leagues. He was throwing the ball well. He had some success, and now coming out of the pen, he's had a couple of rough outings. And you hate for him to take a big step backwards mentally.
He's allowed 3 runs so far in the inning on 5 hits and a walk. Mike Fontenot is the 8th Cub to bat here in the 9th inning. Fontenot is a sac fly. He's 0 for 3. Way upstairs, ball 1.
The problem is the Astros have a shortage of arms. I mean, you have to assume Geary's not available tonight. Fulcino, they would have been up at some point. It looks like, is that LaTroy Hawkins throwing? Or is that Geary?
That is Arias.
Oh, Alberto Arias. Forgot about Alberto.
He pitched last night.
Inning and 2/3 last night.
And it's Chad Fox warming up for the Cubs. And now they won't have a save situation with this big 9th inning. So, no particular reason to bring Greg in for the 9th. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Chad Fox will be pitching in front of his family and friends, perhaps.
Yeah, Chad's part owner. There's a big sports complex out there in the Woodlands. Legends, big, you know, baseball, basketball, volleyball. It's got all kinds of stuff. We did one of the caravan stops. We did a clinic there. Chad's got a piece of that.
Okay. 2 balls and a strike.
I think he can hit golf balls there. He can do it all.
Nice.
Bungee jump. Go bowling.
That might not be in his contract. Two and 1 the count on Fontenot. When you get right down to it, what's allowed for a professional athlete in terms of playing any other sport? Not much of anything.
Well, the basic agreement between the players and the clubs and in the uniform players contract, there's a list of things you're not supposed to do, and then there's kind of an elastic clause. You know, anything else deemed dangerous or something to that effect. So, you know, you could, as we watch the merry-go-round continue here.
Bases loaded walk. Fontenot with his 2nd run batted in. He has 17 now.
But the bottom line is, if you're a productive player in the prime of your career, and you're very valuable to your club, and you get hurt doing something you're not supposed to do, it's probably not going to matter much because they're not going to want to void the contract. But if you're a guy who's on the bubble and you're making a lot of money and maybe coming out, and I can't think of an instance where it's happened. Can you think of a time where a club has tried to void a contract based on a guy playing off-season basketball or?
Well, Aaron Boone.
Oh, that's right, Booney. That's right.
Hurt his knee, and he called the Yankees and said, "Hey, I was playing basketball. It's on me."
Yeah,
and
that's right.
I voided the contract.
He did it, yeah, but he did it on his own.
Right. Chicago 8, Houston 2. Back in a moment. Banged the ball tonight. 3 extra base hits. First time up, first inning, 2-run homer on a 2-0 pitch from Ted Lilly. 2-1 Astros there. In the third inning, on a 2-1 count, takes that breaking pitch for a double to right center field. And in the 8th inning, a double to right field off the hard-throwing Carlos Marmol. 3 extra base hits tonight for Tejada. Now has 1 homer and 10 doubles this year. And that's an interesting look.
Rally caps are on.
They're watching Alberto Arias warm up.
They probably shouldn't have put their rally caps on so soon. I think they're affecting the Cubs.
Alberto threw 25 pitches last night, giving up 1 hit, 1 run, and 1 2/3 innings. And now as he comes in, the bases are loaded with 1 out. Cubs have scored 4 runs in the 9th. They lead at 8-2. They've batted around now with Soto, the 9th batter in the inning. That was Arias' Astros debut last night. He was called up from Round Rock, where he's been starting for the most part. And there's ball 1. Alberto was with the Astros briefly last year. He also pitched for Colorado last year, a total of 15 major league appearances last season, with a 1-1 record of 4.15 ERA. That one in the dirt. Stop for Pudge. It's 2-0. Hoffpower at third base. And it's Gathright at second. And Fontenot on at first. Boston shellacked Cleveland 13-3. Tim Wakefield going to 4-1. Beat Jeremy Sowers. Jason Bay hit a homer. That's a strike. That makes it now a 2-1 count for Alberto Arias.
Astros pitching has yielded a lot of these innings. Check out that lid.
What's that all about? He's got the whole team on there. Ground ball third. Keppinger to second. Matsui to first. Double play, and Arias with a fist pump gets out of bases loaded trouble. The Cubs come up with 4 in the 9th inning. On 5 hits, they leave 2. It's 8-2 Chicago.
of the night. Tonight, the Texas Chevy dealers introduced the 2010 Camaro to fans outside Minute Maid Park, and then they brought the car inside Minute Maid Park. This beauty comes with a V6 or 6.2-liter V8 that generates 426 horsepower. So after a 7-year hiatus, the Camaro is back, and it is a beautiful car. If you get a chance to get to your nearest Ford dealer, test drive one, you will love it. Brownie, up to you.
We're going to do a group share of that car, Bart.
I think that's a great idea.
We're all in for about 1/8. We'll get 8 guys.
I'll take it for the first week, and then I'll let you know.
Yeah. Aaron Miles stays in to play second base. And Mike Fontenot has moved from second base to third base. Ramos Ramirez coming out of the ball game. And Chad Fox, who, as JD mentioned, lives in this area and has for many years, 38 years old. Began his career with Cincinnati.
Can't keep a good man down. He battled back from injuries time and time again. When healthy, he can light up the radar gun. Has a hard, sharp-breaking slider. Went to Westfield High School and then Blinn Junior College.
It's 2 balls, no strikes to Jason Michaels. He's 0 for 2 with a walk and a steal. Chad missed the 06 and 07 seasons. Living in the Conroe area now. Check swing call, and it's 3 balls, no strikes in this 8-2 ball game. Chad first came to the big leagues with the Braves in '97. He was with Milwaukee. He's had a bunch of elbow surgeries. He's been with Milwaukee, Boston, Florida. And that's ball 4 as he settles in with the Cubs for his first outing with them this year.
Hey, Brownie, we got a correction to make.
All right.
I gave you the wrong car maker there.
All right.
Go to your nearest Chevy dealer.
Okay.
I said a different dealer. It's Chevy dealer for that Camaro.
It is a Chevy Camaro.
I want to make sure we get that right.
Yeah.
I was actually just testing you guys to see if you were paying attention. There you go.
That's Chevrolet. Remember Dinah Shore when she used to sing about Chevrolets? No, you're too young for that.
I do.
See the USA in your Chevrolet. Yeah. Pudge Rodriguez 0 for 3. 2 strikeouts. And there's ball 1 upstairs. So Chad Fox, who's been at AAA Iowa, hasn't thrown a strike yet. And he's been around the block a few times. Soto out to work with him.
Yeah, and no matter how long you've been around, you can come back home to pitch and you get your first outing in a major league uniform of the season. You're going to have a little extra adrenaline pumping. And very good numbers with their AAA club at Iowa.
They replaced Jeff Samardzija in the bullpen. And gets a strike there. It's 1-1 on Pudge Rodriguez. With the 4-run 9th inning, Lou Piniella had the luxury of saving his closer, Kevin Gregg. 1-2 the count. Well, that gives Chad Fox a chance to pitch. See, his last outing was against Nashville 3 days ago. You saw his numbers at AAA. They were good to start the season. 2-2. Bobby Scales is a switch-hitting 31-year-old infielder who just made his major league debut just a few days ago. And he's gotten that starting assignment against Tim Lincecum on let's see, it was Tuesday, I believe, and got his first major league hit. Fly ball left center field. Gathright with a long run, and that one smacks off the wall, kicks back toward right field, and now Michaels is going to come around to score. Rodriguez in with an RBI triple. First triple of the year for Pudge Rodriguez. He sent that one a long way for RBI number 12. Hit it off the wall in left center, then it kicked back by Gathright.
Gathright, the speedster, and he gave this one a good long run, but he got a little too close to the wall, and the carom kicked on by him. Not allowed Pudge to turn a probable double into an easy triple.
Yeah, there you see it. He was too close to the wall. So Pudge drives the ball. Meanwhile, Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, comes out.
And Kevin Gregg will get up. I'm sure the directive was just get him tossing easy just in case.
Well, he's tossing, and it's 8-3 now. Jeff Keppinger batting. Keppinger 0 for 3 in this game. Darren Erstad is in the on-deck circle. Pitcher spot due up next. That's strike one call to Keppinger. Keppinger getting his 4th at bat of the game. That's always nice for a player who pinch hits some and starts some to get 4 at bats. Soto scrambles for that one. It's 1-1. The White Sox shut out Detroit 6-0. Mark Burley going to 5-0. Beating Armando Galarraga tonight. That was a 3-hit shutout. It's 2-1. Chad Fox has made more than 200 major league appearances. Foul ball, 2-2 the count. He pitched in the World Series for Florida in 03, so he and Pudge Rodriguez were battery mates that year. And now Pudge has just ripped a triple off him. Broken bat and foul. It's still 2-2, and Keppinger will get another piece of wood. Jared Weaver and the Angels are leading Toronto 3-1. They're in the top of the 5th in Anaheim. Bouncer third, stays fair. And Fontenot throws to first. Pudge scoring. The RBI is Keppinger's 3rd of the year. And it's now 8-4. But Darren Erstad batting next. Erstad's wife was on earlier talking about the big Pink in the Park week that the Astros have going, and a luncheon at Union Station on Saturday for charity. And now Darren takes a look at ball 1 high. 1 ball, no strikes to Darren Erstad. Fly ball left center field. Gathright going for it. And on the run, it drops between him and Soriano. And here's Erstad going for 3rd. And he's going to be in without a play. And Gathright and Soriano talking it over there. They let that ball get between them.
Yeah, that had all the makings of a head-on collision. That was scary. Good swing here. Went down and got a low fastball. Chad's been up with some of those fastballs, but that one down below the knees. That's a ball that should be caught, but as Gathright sees Soriano come into the picture, he takes his eye off the ball. Self-preservation taking over.
Oh, another triple. 2 triples in the inning. Lou Pinella's going to make a move now. It's 8-4, and a potential run number 5 after Erstad tripled is there at third base.
Kevin is he's 0 something at the ballpark this year.
0 a lot, guys.
0 a lot. We haven't won a game yet when Kevin's been here.
Just call me over.
We gotta get him off the hook.
Well, it's time for a big rally then. 8-4. Kevin Gregg in the game, and Matsui takes strike one. The Astros have rallied for 2 runs so far here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Rally caps are on. Matsui is 0 for 3 with a walk. Gathright with Erstad tagging will capture that one for out number 2, and it's 8-5 on a sac fly by Matsui, giving him his 12th run batted in. Kevin Hart standing by to recap everything for you tonight. Chad Fox in 1/3 of an inning, 2 hits and 3 runs with 1 walk and no strikeouts. Now it's Miguel Tejada. He has 3 extra base hits. There's that rally look. 8-5 ball game now. Liner to left. Miggy with hit number 4 of the night. Started the night at 287. This early in the season, his average has jumped a bunch with a 4 for 5 game. A homer, 2 doubles, and a single.
Doesn't matter what they're throwing up there. Fastballs, breaking balls, he's hitting everything. First pitch slider, whack, knock. All right, one more of those and a long ball, and we're tied.
Art Howe saw a lot of those in Oakland. Lance Berkman 0 for 4. Strike one. Carlos Lee on deck, so if Lance can get on, it gets a little too interesting for Lou Piniella. Now 1 ball, 1 strike. Gregg got his 5th save last night. This is not a save situation. He did not face Berkman in last night's game. This is in with a fastball. The count's now 2-1 for Lance. Berkman is 1 for 3 in his career against this pitcher. 2-2.
Lance has had a lot of tough nights this year. He's struck out 3 times already tonight, and that's just not a Lance Berkman swing right there.
Infield is shifted around. Off power close to the line at first. And Gregg on the check swing call did not get a strikeout. It's 3-2 on the appeal to Wally Bell. 3-2, 2 outs. Tejada will be moving at first base. Cubs have 14 hits. The Astros have collected 8. And a strikeout ends it. What a rough night for Lance Berkman with 4 strikeouts and a grounder to third. Cubs sweep this 2-game series. Ted Lilly goes to 4-2 with a win, beating Russ Ortiz, who is 2-1. Chicago takes this one 8-5. The 2 clubs combining for 7